This programme is sponsored by Ava Media. Brilliant quality for a great price.
Heads are off! Here we go!
It's the Thursday team's press conference here for the first ever IFMC race here in Australia. Let's start from the bottom row and introduce the team bosses. Let's start off on the bottom. On the left, we have George Rote, team boss of George Rote Motorsport. In the middle, we have Matthew Orange, team boss of Orange Racing. Now on the right, we have Oliver Glazebrook, team boss of Etihad Racing. On the top row, on the left, we have Robert Hunter, team boss of Thomas Cook Sport. In the middle, we have James Willows, team boss of Scuderia Racing. And on the right, we have William Neller, team boss of AMP Racing. So I'm going to start off with George. Now, George, it's been quite tricky for you recently, considering that the console engine's not been the most reliable. But do you think that all the problems from testing have been solved?
I'm hoping so, because again, in testing, we didn't seem to have that much pace. I think I remember our best finish was, 13th in the last test, where I used actually the tokens. So I'm hoping that come Australia, that I'll have a decent bit of pace and that there won't be many mechanical problems.
Indeed. Now, where do you expect to be throughout the season?
I'm just hoping that I do better than I did in FF1M, where I was pretty much near the back most of the time. And I'm just hoping at least I get some points finishes. That's just what I'm hoping for.
Okay, we'll then go to James. So, James, you're another team who started off on the back foot. But do you think that you've improved all the problems since what happened in Jerez?
Yes. Well, the car's getting faster every test or practice, whatever. But we're heading in the right direction. Hopefully we'll be on it by the end of the season. But, yeah.
Okay, now, in terms of your drivers, Sebastian and Esteban, how are they coping in the team?
Well, one of us not doing very well, in my opinion. The other one's doing alright, fourth, all the time. Need to be the best of the rest, because it's going to be hard to beat the Etihad, or BMW engine. So, if we can get both drivers up there, we'll be alright.
Okay, William, now we've come to the new season. You're bringing a massive upgrade like your fellow Audi engined Thomas Cook Sport over here. Do you think that you'll bring the pace back up like you showed in Estoril and Jerez?
Yeah, definitely. I think, it's all about improving the engine, just trying to sort of iron out the problems we've experienced in the testing sessions. So, yeah, definitely think that we're going to bring a bit more pace to the first round and definitely going to bring a bit more pace to the overall season to hopefully battle it out with the Etihads and the Thomas Cooks.
Indeed. Now, I've already asked you about Verline and Hulkenberg, but we didn't really ask you about Jan Mardenborough, your test driver. So how do you think he's getting on in the team?
Jan had a very good first two practices. Third one in Catalonia, he was a little bit slower. He was a little bit off the pace. Not very comfortable with the car. But, he's learning. He's here to learn. And we respect that. So we can't really fault him yet. We'll judge him later on in the season.
Okay, I'll then go to Oliver next. So testing really went well for you, but you feel now that Australia is probably now the big test to see if you've maintained that pace?
I wouldn't exactly say it's a big test to see if we've maintained our pace. I think our consistency throughout the entirety of all of the sessions has been very high, apart from when Oscar were there, when we was challenged. Ever since, Fernando's been putting in great times every time he's been there. He's only ever been outplaced once by Valtteri. The performances are what we would like to see, especially on day 4 at Catalonia. A 1.3 second gap to our nearest competitor in third is exceptionally good for what we are aiming to achieve. Valtteri's improved. He was a little bit behind Stoffel, but then beating Fernando has helped him up, and Stoffel doing really well in the test car as well. So there's some great signs for us. We go into Australia on a high, good form recently. So the team is at a positive position. We just hope that we can go into Australia, good pace, good car, and just continue where we left off at Catalonia.
Indeed. Now, I expect that what you said there, you're hoping that you'll win this weekend, and maybe you want to?
I think since our practice performances over at Catalonia, Jerez and Estoril, we'd have that expectation on us. I dare say a lot of the press and fellow drivers and teams will look at us to get a 1-2, and anything other than that will probably be a disappointment. When we was at Estoril and Hamilton split us, that was a lot was made of that, where it was maybe overly exaggerated, but because we didn't get that 1-2, a lot was made. What I'd like to see is the drivers push the car to the very best, get the best time out of the car possible. We've got 3 practice sessions to home in, and we just want to get the performances we know we can get at a high enough level.
Indeed. Now I'm going to go to Robert. Robert, we're now here in Australia, and like your fellow Audi team, AMP, you're also bringing an upgrade as well. But do you think you'll be above the AMP, and if so, challenge the Etiads?
I hope to be above the AMP. I'd love to challenge the Etiads. Realistically, that is not possible. They're too fast.
So you're hoping for like an upgrade during the season that will hopefully catch them up?
Yeah.
Okay, and in terms of your drivers, Hamilton and Webber, do you feel like they'll be pretty much a challenger throughout the season?
I hope so. I mean, you never know until the season starts. I think Hamilton, like Ollie said, he split the Etiads twice on Estoril, and he's been fast. Webber's been there or thereabouts, not up as fast as Hamilton. Been getting used to the car. Maybe he'll be up there with Hamilton at Australia.
Okay, and Matt, so we're now here in Australia. Now, you've had to make a little bit of pretty much an emergency upgrade, really, that you were going to bring to Argentina because, it seemed that you were a bit off the pace in Catalonia. So do you think that the emergency upgrade, which is part of the Argentina upgrade, is going to help you in Australia?
Well, yeah, like you say, I have only used one for the last 3 tests, so I guess I do need to use a couple more tokens in order to be a lot higher up the grid. I mean, I'm using 2 for this weekend, and I'm hoping it will give me an extra few tenths. I mean, it will hopefully increase the gap to under a second and maybe be enough to get a podium or a high 4th or 5th.
Now, you also mentioned that in an interview during the Catalonia roundup that it's going to be a close battle for 3rd indeed. So, are you hoping that you'll be the team above that?
Well, I want to be near the top of that, yeah, like you say. I mean, there's going to be a massive gap between a really close gap between 3rd and 12th, and we're hoping to all the races to be at the top of that 3rd, 4th or 5th, and maybe get a win if the Etiads have a problem or crash into each other or something like that.
Okay, now this is going to be a question for all of you, so I'll tell you who's going to go first to answer this question. We're here in Australia, so what do you guys think of the track? I'm going to start off with George again.
Well, I've not always been a huge fan of this track, to be honest. Again, like in normal F1, it hasn't been that much overtaking, but again, we'll see what happens. It could be a lot different here, so we'll see.
Okay, James?
What? Can you repeat the question?
What do you think of the Melbourne track?
Not the best. Could be better. There we are.
Wow.
Okay.
Good job.
Good analysis there.
That was quite brief. Will you?
Yeah, Melbourne is one of those, historic tracks. It's, a fantastic circuit, quick, nice sweeping bends. And to be honest, out there, it can change very quickly. Weather can change, temperature can change, it can increase, it can drop. And the fans will play a massive part. It all depends on who they're supporting, who they're rooting for this weekend. So we'll see how it goes.
Ollie? Ollie?
No, sorry, I'm back. Muted myself for an accident.
Good.
Melbourne.
What do you think of the Melbourne track?
Melbourne is a very similar track from what we look at as Catalonia. Not to say that we're going to have a 1.3 second gap, but we look at Melbourne as a very fast-paced track, which will suit the BMW engine nicely. The performances will depend on how well we can fit our setups around the track, but you know, it's a great event. Always the first race of the season is always a big deal because there's so much build up. But you know, it's going to be a really good weekend. Just hoping for some good racing from third downwards.
Bob?
Well, the Melbourne track is not one of my favourites, I have to say, but it's a good way to start the season. The fans, I have the fan support because I've got Webber, but that could help. Gain a couple of attempts for him. Maybe a couple of attempts closer to the Etihad. Oh yeah, and Ricardo. He's nowhere near, no offence. But
None taken.
but I think we're in a good position in terms of the track layout. It is a good track. Some high speed corners, some low speed corners, some medium speed corners. There's some straights. It's a mixture of everything. So I think Australia will be the first true representation of where everyone is from third downwards.
Okay, Matt?
Well, yeah, the Australian track has always been the first one on the calendar, and it's always been a great track to start the season with. And I think our car may not suit to it that greatly because we've got a lot of horsepower, and there's not really that many long straights, and there's quite a lot of corners, slow speed and high speed. So I don't know if this is going to be our best track of the whole season, but we're going to give it a good go.
Okay, and another question for all of you as well. Now, two people have already kind of answered this already, but they can expand on this if they want to. In terms of your drivers, well, sorry, let me rephrase that. We're not going to go on about the drivers. What is your aim for the weekend? So I'll start off with George.
Well, again, our team didn't have that much pace during testing, to be honest. But again, the highest was 13th, as I've said before. But I'm hoping maybe one of them, either mainly Ricardo, because he was definitely the fastest driver, to get probably a top 10, maybe a point. But I'm not quite sure our car has the pace. But we'll see what happens.
Okay, James.
There's nothing really on target, just be third. Be best of the rest, really. Because we're not going to beat the Etihad, are we? And I think we've got one driver, not the other, that can beat the rest. But we just have to wait and see, aren't we? It's not testing, it's not down to lap time, it's about race performance, fuel. Remember, it's fuel. So yeah, it could be anyone who could win. Well, third. That's basically a win.
Okay, Will.
Yeah, basically, as I've said before, I definitely think there's a good chance of solid points. There's definitely a chance of a possible podium if some of the other teams run into trouble. Yeah, really, we're just looking for a good points haul to sort of start us off in the right direction. Just get us feet off the ground, and we can build off of that for the rest of the season.
Ollie?
We just don't want to bottle it. We just want to make sure that we hit all of the targets.
We all want you to bottle it.
Oh,
Yeah.
We do.
Everyone,
Two drivers crash into each other at turn one, lap one.
everyone's putting a lot of pressure on the shoulders of Fernando and Valtteri, but they're professionals; they can deal with it. We just want to make sure that we get at least first. First and second would be preferable.
Yeah, you will, not everyone else.
We want to make it. We want to make it to the end of the race. I could say many things to sugarcoat it and all this, but first and second is probably our expected target, and anything lower than that, I don't think will be acceptable. We've definitely got the best package. Definitely got the best package out there.
Drivers to get
That's putting a
third.
bit of pressure on you, isn't it?
Shot at dawn if they don't win this.
I wouldn't do a Thomas Cook or Orange. I wouldn't sack my drivers after a short period. I wouldn't be that
Keep on the
unprofessional.
topic, please.
Sack the management.
I wouldn't be unprofessional. I'll keep it nice and mature. Valtteri and Fernando professionals. And I'm a professional. So is Martin Whitmarsh. We're a professional team. That's nothing to say. Nothing to say that
We're a
Matt
professional
Orange and
team.
Matt
I'm
Orange and
sensing
Robert
a bit of
Hunter.
tension here.
The battle of the airlines have commenced.
Can we let me finish?
I'd like to finish. We're a professional. We're a professional team. Unlike Matt Orange and Robert Hunter, we're gonna
God.
keep things
Shot,
professional.
dear.
The glory hunters, the big
The shots are being
um,
well and truly fired.
Jesus Christ.
We'll see you at Melbourne, lads.
That's modest, sorry. That's modest. That's modest, mate.
Can we move on then to
You'll
Rob?
be millennial by the time we finish.
Can we move on to Robert?
Yes. Let's just change the topic.
Can you repeat the question?
What is the target for the
Thomas Cook, as always, unprofessional, poor service. Let's call up the
Yeah.
customer service helpline, shall we? Be on answer.
Separate
We'll be in a
video.
30-minute
Right,
queue
yeah.
listening to
Provide-
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Aren't we meant to be professional about this?
That's a good point.
Okay,
actually, yeah.
Robert, what's your target for Melbourne?
3rd and 4th.
Okay,
You're not getting that.
that was quite brief.
Yeah.
And
Which driver?
finally,
Briefer
What
than
driver
James,
do you
that
think's
was.
getting fourth?
Brilliant.
What driver's getting fourth? What, the one you sacked?
Yeah, Sainz will get 4th, mate.
Sainz
He'll go in the test car and get 4th. Webb will be
come back.
5th.
okay. And Matt.
Well, we're just gonna try and get in the top 10.
Yeah, you're gonna break down.
Yeah,
mate.
the
You're
high,
gonna break
Maintain my drivers.
high
Alright,
of the top
alright.
10 in the first 5, maybe 4th, 5th, or 6th. And
Matt,
then
if
if the
Rosberg doesn't get in the top
Etiads
10, are you going to sack him?
do have some form of problems, then I'll be very happy with the comments that they've made here.
Hey, did you
very,
just say
very
you would be happy with problems?
happy if Etihad had problems.
No, I'm
That's
trying
the
to
thing,
say.
that is. If they
Oh.
have problems, it'll be upsetting. I'll be happy, but it'll be upsetting.
Yeah, so I'm just hoping for consistency.
Alright, if
Sarcasm
we
is
lose
real
we'll
right
just
now.
rename
At the
it
start of the
Air
season.
Racing or something.
You know what? No.
I'm going to win the championship.
Alright. Right, one more question before this blows up.
It's already has.
Anyway, final question. Again, I think people have already answered this, but you can expand on this if you want. What is everybody's target in terms of where they were going to finish in the constructors? George?
Don't want to be last. End of.
It's a pretty fair point.
How many
Jensen
points got-
Button on the grid. Got a good chance of that.
James?
I'll be Jensen Button.
Realistically, first, but
First.
yeah,
That'll be me.
and unrealistically, first as well. So first all round, I think.
Right, Jay.
Okay,
But actually, second.
William?
Yeah, in all seriousness, we've set ourselves a points target at the end of the year of at least 100 points. So, to achieve that would be great. I'd say anywhere between 3rd and 5th, I'd be very happy.
Okay, now I'm going to try and make sure he answers this.
No,
Ollie.
skip him.
Ollie.
Are you
Last.
sure?
Last.
Just waiting for the abuse, We'll just take
Last.
the abuse in our stride. We'll just
But
take
Ollie,
it,
we
you
know
know.
what you want, mate. We know
You
what
We
you
wanna
know,
want.
we already know where we're going to finish
You
from
want
what
to be
we're
1
getting.
point?
Yeah, last.
Oh, don't
Pilot.
say that. Don't say that.
We just like to be, on the final race of the season, at least 1.3 seconds ahead of everyone, just like Catalonia,
Oh my god.
1.2
that-
seconds behind Jensen Button.
We want to make
You
a
are losing so many fans with your arrogance.
It's not arrogance. If you're not going to put us on a pedestal, we have to be.
You're Sebastian Vettel from Red Bull. You're
Yeah.
you're being that kind
Anyway.
of guy.
Yeah.
Can we have
I'd
you
love to
double
be a
diffuser,
full-time champ.
please?
Yeah.
Expect
All
some
right.
bows, I think.
Robert.
Can you repeat the question,
Oh,
please?
What
I'm
is your
swearing to
target
this on
in the
purpose.
constructors?
In the constructors, well,
Well, one of them have a paddy, and then
James, shut
you'll
up.
set the other
James,
driver.
shut up. Everyone else says.
my target is obviously to beat everybody else to 2nd place. That even includes beating Jensen Button. I know it's going to be hard, but I think that's a realistic target. Now, all seriousness, I want to finish 2nd in the constructors. That's the goal. Etihad are too quick, and I think they'll be 1.3 seconds clear. But 2nd's a target.
Okay, and Matt.
Well, realistically, we've just got to hope for something between 2nd, 3rd, or 4th. Really, I mean, we
Why
haven't
not
got a
5th?
chance of first. Well, 5th? No, that's a bit low, isn't it? Really, we need a bit higher than that.
Well,
So
it's
like
level
2nd
10.
to 4th.
Yeah, it's all top. There's 11
Well,
teams.
and if we get in
Possible
between
fair.
2nd and 4th, then we'll finish in the top 8 every time,
finish
which is what
3rd.
the race goals are for every
If you become
single
between
race.
2nd and 4th, you'll finish.
I have
3rd.
the same sort of target, aim to get about 100 points, maybe a bit more, maybe a bit less, sort of around there.
Okay, thank you very much, teams.